You're watching the 18 WJTS News. I'm Joy Holt. And top stories around the area. March unemployment numbers are in, confirming DuBois County among the leaders of counties with the state's lowest unemployment percentages. And it's that time of year again for spring planting, and the Department of Agriculture is reminding Hoosier motorists farmers will be out sharing Indiana roadways. And Purdue Extension says vultures native to the southern United States have seen their numbers on the rise, posing risks to Indiana beef producers. That's all right here coming up on 18 WJTS News. In our first story, county by county unemployment numbers for the month of March have been released, and once again DuBois County is in second place as far as those counties with the state's lowest unemployment mark. Figures provided by the Indiana Department of Workforce Development Monday show DuBois County's unemployment rate last month stood at 2.3%, just 1/10 of a percentage point behind co-leaders Elkhart and LaGrange counties. Statewide, Indiana's unemployment rate was unchanged in March from February, following a decline in the state that was seen starting in November. The Department of Workforce Development says the state's unemployment rate remained at 3.2%. The state's unemployment rate remained below the national rate of 4.1%, with the exception of October 2014 when it was equal to the national rate. The state's unemployment rate has been below the U.S. rate for more than 4 years. Indiana's labor force had a net increase of more than 7,500 jobs over the previous month, which was a result of nearly 2,100 unemployed residents no longer seeking employment and more than 9,500 increase in residents employed. Indiana's total labor force is 3.3 million. Locally, as we mentioned, DuBois County is once again sitting in second place as far as those counties with the state's lowest unemployment rate at 2.3%, just 1/10 of a percent shy of first. Davies and Martin counties both came in at 2.6%, Warwick County at 2.8%, Pike and Spencer were at 3.3%, Perry County at 3.7%, Orange at 4.1%, and Crawford County's March unemployment rate was 4.8%, the third highest in the state. Vermilion County, just north of Terre Haute, had the state's highest unemployment rate last month at 5.6%. And share the road with your friendly neighborhood farmer. That's what the Indiana State Department of Agriculture says. With temperatures on the rise, more farmers will be out in the fields, which means slow-moving farm equipment will soon be on Indiana roadways. To keep motorists and farmers safe this planting season, several state agencies have partnered together to encourage Hoosiers to be alert, slow down, and share the road with farm equipment. Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch says as a top agricultural state, whether you live in rural, urban, or suburban Indiana, a majority of motorists will come across large farm equipment on the road this planting season. She encourages every Hoosier to be mindful, slow down, and share the road, which will not only ensure their safety, but also the safety of our farmers. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, farm equipment vehicles other than trucks were involved in 92 fatal crashes across the nation, with 6 of those occurring in Indiana. Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter says roadway safety is a priority of the Indiana State Police, especially when large farm machinery will be crossing state and county roads to farm fields during the planting season. Carter says patience, courtesy, and understanding, along with the undivided attention of farmers and the traveling public, will help ensure a safe 2018 growing season. By law, farm equipment must have the nationally designated slow-moving vehicle sign, a red triangle-shaped reflector to warn drivers that their equipment is on the road. These vehicles often travel at speeds no higher than 25 miles per hour. And Purdue Extension says that black vultures are posing problems for southern Indiana beef producers. Unlike the beneficial turkey vulture of the region, the black vulture is a smaller but more aggressive vulture. Native to the southern United States, black vulture populations have been on the rise. Purdue Extension says black vultures are known to attack infant livestock and wildlife, particularly newborn calves. They say an attack typically includes the vultures aiming at the calves' eyes and blinding them, and then proceeding to other parts of the body. Unfortunately, black vultures' rise in population came after the passage of the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, protecting them and making it illegal to shoot them without a permit. While a permit to shoot the vultures can be obtained from the Region 3 U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Migratory Bird Permit Office, located in Minnesota, Purdue Extension offers some other control methods for farmers with maintaining these pesky birds. They include habitat modification to remove easy roost for vultures, hazing with red lasers, hanging the carcass of a dead vulture in the area, and livestock guardian dogs. For more information on control methods and depredation permits, visit the website extension.purdue.edu/Perry County. And if you were thinking of having a salad for lunch this week, think again. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says that 53 people have reported being sick across 16 states since March 13th due to a multi-state E. coli outbreak linked to romaine lettuce. 31 of those ill have been hospitalized, the CDC says. While no deaths have been reported, 5 people have developed a type of kidney failure associated with E. coli illness called hemolytic uremic syndrome, which can be life-threatening. The higher number of E. coli cases have been in Pennsylvania, Idaho, New Jersey, and Montana. A previous warning to consumers was limited to chopped forms of romaine, including salads and salad mixes. However, now the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has expanded its warning. The E. coli outbreak connected to romaine lettuce now extends to all forms of romaine, including whole heads and hearts of romaine grown in Yuma, Arizona growing area. Pennsylvania-based Fresh Foods Manufacturing Company issued a voluntary recall of approximately 8,757 pounds of ready-to-eat salads in clear plastic containers due to the potential for contamination. Officials with the CDC stated that most people reported eating a salad at a restaurant, and romaine lettuce was the only common ingredient identified among the salads eaten. The outbreak investigation is ongoing, and the health officials have not yet identified a single brand, supplier, distributor, or grower as the source of the contamination. CenterPoint Energy Incorporated is paying just under $6 billion for rival Vectren in a move that will expand the utility operator's reach. Evansville, Indiana-based Vectren Corporation provides natural gas in Indiana and Ohio, along with electricity in Indiana. It employs about 5,500 people, with more than 1,000 miles for transmission pipelines and 22,000 miles of distribution pipelines. Vectren's natural gas system serves nearly 1.2 million customers. Vectren is in the middle of a 7-year plan to replace nearly 2,000 miles of old pipeline with modern plastic pipeline across Indiana and Ohio service territories. The plan includes extensive testing and maintenance, infrastructure improvements, and metering enhancement. Houston-based CenterPoint has natural gas operations in Arkansas, Louisiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Texas. It has deliverers of electricity in the Houston area. It currently employs nearly 8,000 people. The combined company will serve more than 7 million in gas and electricity customers in 8 states and will hold about $29 billion in assets. CenterPoint will pay $72 per share cash for Vectren and assume the company's debt. The deal is expected to close in the first quarter of 2019. And a southern Indiana county celebrated a Florida-based Isoflex packaging as they opened a 3rd production line at its Davies County facility today. The company, which produces specialty plastic films and bags, will add a small number of jobs as a result. The company has invested more than $4 million into the new production line, originally opening in 2014 following a $25 million investment by Alliance Barrier Films, was acquired by Isoflex in January. This new line reportedly will expand the facility's capacity in an additional 700,000 to 800,000 pounds of blown film per month, along with the addition of 6 new jobs, bringing the facility's total to 38. Isoflex manufactures films and bags used for shrink, barrier, laminating, coating, converting, and can liners used in the food and beverage consumer goods and institutional products industries. And finally, some sad news out of southern Indiana this week as workers at Jeff Boat, the Evansville-based barge and towboat manufacturer, entered their final day on the job as the Ohio River shipyard closed its doors Monday. Parent company American Commercial Lines announced the closure plans in March for the shipyard that traces its roots back more than 180 years. Jeff Boat employed more than 1,300 employees at its peak during World War II, but only about 80 workers remained as operations wound down on Monday. That's been a look at your local news. Stay tuned. Up next is Kerry Schneider with his weekly visit to the Du Bois County Humane Society, followed by your local weather outlook and forecast. That's all right here on 18 WJTS.